let me tell you the difference. Let me talk about, since we're talking about editing, we were just talking about editing, the difference between a traditional publisher and a self-publisher in terms of editing. So, if you are an author and you write a book and you submit it to a traditional publisher to try to get it published traditionally, and they acquire the intellectual property, which is the rights to your book. If you're a first-time author, you're probably not going to get much of an advance. You might get $2,000, maybe $5,000 the most, and you're still going to pay it back in sales. So don't think it's anything special. If you don't pay it back, they're going to you got to pay it back. But the second they acquire that property, that's it. They take your book and they're like, all right, and they hand it over to a professional editor, someone like myself. There's going to be a team, but there's always going to be probably the developmental editor first, which who's going to read the book and go, this book is bad, or it's okay, or could be better, or I'm going to make it better. So that's what I do. I go through and I make the story arc much better. I make sure the plot is well thickened. I make sure that the characters are well developed. I make sure that the main conflict is very defined. I make sure there's some subplot that's very exciting and kind of exciting. And then, of course, you have a resolution that is emotional and thought-provoking or whatever, right? That's, whether if it's a nonfiction call to action, that's a whole other thing. But always, the story is all that matters. It's always the story. So even if it's a call to action, you got to arc the story to the ending, which draws or calls somebody to action and says, somebody had a really crazy life that went from crap to impossible to I made it. That's the story arc. And at the end, how did you make it? That's the resolution. What did you do to overcome the odds? What was your process? How do you call the action now? Like, why would anybody want to pay you for a service or whatever to learn what you just did, what you told them in the book? But the problem with self-publishers is, when you pay them to publish, most 99% of them, self-publishers, myself not included, is they just take your book and say, okay, right, we're going to edit it, we'll publish it, and you're going to be good, no problem, we'll have it done. And they go, all right, and they hand it to some kid in India, and they pay the kid in India $50 to upload it to Amazon, and you get an email that says, congratulations, you're a published author now, good luck. If you need some help marketing, let us know. We have different packages. Boom, you're done. And then your book doesn't sell. It doesn't sell because it's crap. Because it's not well written. The story is bad. Everything's bad. The editing's bad. Nobody's ever going to buy your book. And that is literally 99.9% of all books published today on Amazon. That's why a professional traditional publisher who employs someone like me and pays them $200,000 a year to edit a book and make it great, opposed to somebody like a traditional publisher just take your book and go, yeah, you'll have a book, but it will be great. You want whitepinepublishing.com.